Good evening, everybody. It's your boy D Max. So let's talk. So you see the title, Stolen Parents. And I come from the scripture that says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So I asked the question, what stole your parents? If you have a parent that was absent in your life, that was missing in your life because of whatever reason, what stole your parents? What stole your parents? What killed your parents? What destroyed your relationship? Because these are all tools of the enemy, and he's very cunning and very crafty at what he does, and he's been around so long that he's mastered it. And so there's no flaw in his execution of the plan that he has to destroy families, to kill relationships, and to steal parents away from their children. So what stole your parent? I'll tell you what stole my parent. Alcohol and cigarettes stole my parent, stole my father. He died from emphysema, and it was kind of tough, but at the same time, even though I witnessed my father die from emphysema, I still picked up the habit of smoking. And so the same thing that was stealing my father away from me, is slowly stealing me away from my children. Something else that stole me personally from my children's lives for a long time was my addiction. And, that's just another tool that he uses to steal, kill, and destroy. Destroyed relationships, it destroyed trust, it destroyed bonds, it destroyed all of that for a long time. But God is a redeemer, and he's able to bring back what the cankerworm has taken away and what the palmer worm has rotted away. This is what the word tells us. And so when we experience these losses in our lives, we really have to sit down and understand how that loss came about. What happened to bring about that loss, and how can we reconcile that loss in our life? Because it's a very crucial loss to lose a parent, whether it's your mother or your father. It's a very crucial loss because now you have no balance. And there has to be balance all the way across the board in your life. And so when there's a parent missing, then there's a crucial part of who you are, your life, and everything that's missing. And it's going to be a lot easier for the enemy to come in and steal, kill, and destroy. So he will be able to steal you from your children because you've left yourself open to be stolen. There's a void there. And as long as that void is there and it's not filled with the Spirit of God and with the love of God, then there's always something that can come in and occupy that void. And when you allow it to, it's going to come in and fester and take root, and it's going to steal something from you. It's going to steal your relationship. It's going to kill your relationship. It's going to destroy your relationship, because that is what it's set out to do. And so we have to understand this so that we can combat this in the spirit, because this is a spiritual war. The things that happen to us on this earth, we may see it in the physical, and we may see the tangible side of what's taking place, but we often don't have the spiritual eye to see the spiritual thing that is taking place. And that's the most important thing that has to be dealt with, is the spiritual aspect. Because if you deal with the spiritual aspect, then things are going to start working in the heavens, and what's done on earth will be done in heaven. What's bound on earth will be bound in heaven. What's loosed on earth will be loosed in heaven. And so we can fight back. We can definitely mend some of these relationships. We can also get back what's been stolen from us, as the person with the loss. Because, like I said, if a parent is stolen from you, or if your child is stolen from you, because a lot of parents feel like their children are stolen from them by the streets. You raise your child to do the right things. You go out and you work hard every single day to give them all of the things that they need in order to survive and to make it in this world. But it seems like it's not enough. They're never happy and they'll never have enough, and that's the seed that's planted in their heart and in their mind to be able to steal them away from you as a parent. The streets will steal your children, and the streets are stealing the children by the busloads at this time. The parents are losing horribly in this battle against the streets. Why? Because the streets seem to have more to offer than the parents do. The parents are spending so much of their time distracted by occupations and by their mate and what their mate is doing when their mate has been stolen by the streets. And they're so caught up in that that they don't even notice that their children are being stolen by the same streets. And so you have these conundrums that people are being placed in, and they don't know what to do because they don't understand that it's a spiritual battle, and they don't know that the enemy comes with three purposes: to steal, kill, and destroy. I've stolen some people from their children before because I sold drugs. And in doing so, that I stole food from their house. I stole clothes off of their backs. I stole whatever that money could have went towards instead of that drug that I was peddling. So I've been that thief. I've been that thief in the night to come and steal, kill, and destroy people's households. See, the enemy is not going to just go around like a ghost and doing this stuff. He uses us because we allow him space inside of us in that void that we haven't filled yet. So while we're out here blaming people and being angry at our children for things that they're doing and being angry at our parents for the things that they're doing, if we were really, really smart, then we would understand the spiritual battle that's taking place, and we would begin to research and study and find out how to fight this spiritual battle. Because the same way we have to pray for leadership, guess what? Children, y'all have to pray for your parents because your parents are leadership. And if you have parents that are struggling with any type of issue, whether it be drugs, whether it be whoremongering, whether it be selling drugs out in the street, caught up in the dope game, you have to intercede on their behalf. You, yeah, not everybody else. Don't be looking to the pastor. You do it because you have a more intimate relationship with that person, and you know exactly what to pray for concerning that person. But yet we will look to an outsider who don't know the situation to pray on behalf of somebody that we know on an intimate level. And I've never understood that. So if you claim to have a relationship with God and you know how to pray, you have a prayer life, then you should be interceding on behalf of the leadership in your household. They come first before any leadership anywhere else. So if we're going to pray for leadership and we're going to pray for authority, you have to make sure that you're praying for your parents and keeping your parents covered in prayer, because authority figures need prayer so much. You just don't understand how much they go through, how much they sacrifice, how much they suffer just for the betterment of the family. And sometimes when you get caught up in something, the last thing you need is somebody telling you the obvious. If I'm sitting here wearing a blue hat and you say, "Hey, you're wearing a blue hat," I'm gonna say, "Yeah, duh. Okay, now what?" So if I'm having issues and you saying, "Hey, you have an issue," like, okay, yeah, and so what? What next? What now? So it does no good to criticize. It does no good to sit there and resent somebody for something that they really don't have any control over. And that goes both ways, because there's a scripture that says, parents, do not provoke your children to wrath. Do not provoke your children to wrath. And one of the ways that you can provoke your children to wrath is to constantly criticize them. Criticism does not help. Criticism does not motivate. All it does is kill their self-esteem, because they already have low self-esteem because of what they're caught up in their advice. And for you to add insult to injury is crazy. So we need to think about when we open our mouths and say stuff out of our emotions, because our emotions causes a whole lot of hurt and pain, because we don't know how to control it, and we don't know how to get our emotions in check and operate in the spirit. And when you operate in the spirit, it's not about your feelings. And anybody who has the spirit of God understands that. And so you have to operate in the spiritual realm if you really love that person who has been stolen or killed or destroyed by the enemy. That's all I really have to say on that. Just I wanted to put this out here because it was something that was weighing on my mind. And, it's a blessing to be able to get on here and express my thoughts and my feelings and things like that to everybody. So I appreciate each and every person who comes on here and supports and leaves comments and engage in conversation with me, because this is how we build. This is how we grow stronger. This is how we learn, and this is how we unlearn error teaching. So once again, thank you. And this is your boy D Mac. You know what I say: sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.